We have so much great information to share with you today. Next up, we have somebody who is a great speaker, who is full of energy. Just if those of you who don't know Dwight Dillon, you need to introduce yourself to him because he is a world of knowledge and he is full of energy and great information. And so I just want to ask you, are you starting a new club? Are you talking up Toastmasters to get new members? Are you looking for sponsors and ad sales for the upcoming conference? Well, have no fear. We have an expert who is going to help you to make those decisions and let you know how to close the sale. So please welcome distinguished Toastmaster Dwight Dillon.
We can't talk about sales without talking about money. I'm so excited to be here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much to the deck team, area director, distinguished Toastmaster, all the way from Jamaica. 2 times. The Jamaicans have the best accent. I might be biased because I'm Jamaican as well. No, I am excited to be here because this hotel was where I came to my first conference, and it was completely life-changing. I met so many cool people. I met the past president, Deepak Menon, took pictures with him. And you know what he said? He said, maybe one day you could be the president of Toastmasters International. It was an awesome meeting. So I want to talk today about how to close a sale. Before I begin, I made a pit stop, and I don't know if it's against the rules, but did you guys know the Powerball is over $500 million? Right? So I bought some tickets. That's why I was a little bit late. I went to the best area because they said the winning tickets is always sold in the richest area. So I found the richest area in Daytona and I got the winning tickets. Unfortunately for everyone online, I won't be able to give it to you. I only have it for the people in attendance. I'm kidding, I'm not that cruel. I want to talk about a little bit about my sales experience, and then we'll move forward into how to close a sale. My sales career started years ago when I was little, in middle school, selling candy. I love selling candy. I remember just going to the store and buying the candy in bulk. I had Snickers, Jolly Rancher. You guys remember Airheads? They were this, and you could flash them like that and make them into, we call it a little pillow. You flash it, it used to be this big, and you shake it all the way until it turns into a nice little pillow. I used to love doing that. But more importantly, I used to add up all my sales and realize my profit and margin. I sold candy all the way into high school. The teachers knew it. I was, of course, their favorite. I love selling, but more importantly, I just love helping people. And I think that's what selling is. Selling is all about helping people. I came a long way from selling candy to selling police decals. Now just imagine calling people asking for donation. I've sold vacation, calling people like Paula. Hey, Paula, you bought a vacation a while ago. Why haven't you used it? And now I have to convince Paula that it's a great time to take a vacation. It was an awesome sales job. All the way to where I am right now, which is selling real estate. I love selling real estate. I've seen kids that I've sold houses to this big. Now they're like this big. And I know you're probably wondering, Dwight, how'd you do that? And you're only 25. I'll tell you all about it later. I learned a lot from selling. And so I want to just share with you just a little bit about my sales experience and what I've learned so far and how we could. Now, I talked a little bit about myself. I just want to go over the house rules. As I mentioned before, I have some winning tickets for the lottery. Somebody in here will be a millionaire. So I need some participants. And in exchange for your participation, I want to raffle off the tickets to you guys, or maybe not raffle, but spin that little wheel. Volunteer. It makes this session a lot of fun. Feel free to ask as many questions. Take notes. Stop me if I'm going too fast. Sometimes I get excited and I kind of get a little bit ahead of myself here. So the presentation is broken down into 5 parts, right? The psychology of selling. We want to understand, what is sales? honestly, selling has been around since eons. We've been trading goods for service. We've been trading salt for gold. And at one point, salt was more expensive than gold. Just think about that. We want to understand why people buy. And we also want to understand why people don't buy. And then we'll talk a little bit about how to close, maybe a lot about how to close, because that's a big topic. And then we'll also talk about closing mistakes to avoid. Now, just like myself, when I got in here, I found myself asking, hey, what's the Wi-Fi? What's the Wi-Fi code? What's in it for me? I need the code to get in. I need to get on Zoom. Some other people was asking me for the Wi-Fi. And you guys are probably asking, what's the Wi-Fi? But not the code. You guys are asking, what's in it for I? What's in it for you guys? So here are the takeaway. Hopefully, throughout my presentation, I'll be able to change your perspective on how you see selling. I want to increase your confidence in selling, and I also want to increase your sales. So whether you're selling real estate, whether you're selling insurance, my goal is to help you make more money. I remember when I was interviewing for my sales job, it was a big job. I studied hard, I passed my tests, and I was ready for the interview. And I sat down and it was time to negotiate my commission. And I said to my boss, I said, sir, with all due respect, I think I should deserve more. He said, why? I said, well, because I'm an experienced salesman and I've been selling for a long time. He looked at me straight in my eye, just like this. Dwight, everyone's a salesman. It was like a Jedi mind trick. I couldn't believe it. I bought it. I shook his hand with a smile. I bought the idea that everyone's a salesman. No one ever said that to me before. But guess what? We are all salespeople. Now, show of hands, if you work for a company or you work for yourself that involves selling or offering goods or service. Am I okay? I thought I was the only one. Okay, Gail, all right. So who's on Zoom? Let's see who's on Zoom here. Who works for a company that involves selling or have goods or services?
On Zoom, Bobby Blackman raised his hand.
All right, Bobby, go ahead. I would love to know. And Timer, Sue, I need your help.
Sure.
This moment, if you've been working on your elevator pitch, this is your time to shine. You have 30 seconds to pitch us on your idea or your company. And since I've been looking on the computer screen, I want to go ahead and call on Bobby. Bobby, do you want to participate? This is kind of like table topics.
Sure.
All right, let's hear it. So when I stop talking, you'll have the floor and you tell us what is it that your company or yourself do.
Message received from Lincoln.
What I do is I am a speaker as well as an author and a musician. And so I sell songs, I sell my books, I sell my services as a speaker and to help in training others to help them be the best versions of themselves. However, since we are at Toastmasters and we're not supposed to be selling our own business at Toastmasters, let me sell all of you an opportunity to join another wonderful club. However, I'll have to do it later because that's my time.
Thank you, Bobby. As you can see, 30 seconds go by very fast. Do we have any volunteers in the room that would like to practice their elevator pitch? 30 seconds to share what they do. Donald, go ahead. Oh yeah, come up here. Yep, this is like table topics like old days. You get up and you come to the front. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Donald D. Tolson Sr. I am an international best-selling author as well as an international speaker. I'm also a real estate broker. I believe in sales that the company that you work for, you're not selling the company, you're selling your skills. So with that being said, you have to work on yourself in whatever you do because you are the best salesperson. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. When I grow up, I want to be like him. International best speaker. I'm gonna have to come take a class from you. I need one, yes.
Good morning. I can show you a way to ensure that your children's education is secure. Recently, I had an experience where I was able to go to a family whose father, the breadwinner, was ill, and there was money available to continue the child's education. Is there any way that we could talk? My name is Shirley Daly. What's yours?
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Now, I'm convinced that there's more salespeople in this room, but you guys are just a little bit shy. See, selling, we're constantly selling and buying because everyone's a salesman. Anyone have kids? Am I okay? All right, half the room. Who's on Zoom that have kids? Now think about this. Once you have a kid, from the start, for example, me, on December 1st, I really wanted to come out. So I sold my mom on the idea by kicking on her stomach, by doing all of this and moving all around until she decided to just push me out. And that's when my sales career started. We're constantly selling to each other. My kids, my daughters, they are amazing. She taught me that spoiled people are not spoiled. Spoiled people know how to get what they want. They know how to ask the right questions. So if she say to me, Daddy, can I go outside? It's a sales. No, you cannot go outside. Okay, she'll go back to her room. Then she'll come back. Daddy, it's 12 o'clock now. Can I go outside? And I'll say no. Now she'll say, well, Daddy, why can't I go outside? So now it's my turn to give her a reason. So I could make up any reason. She's going to negotiate that all the way until she gets to a point where she say, Daddy, when can I go outside? Today, tomorrow, next week. And I come to realize she just needed a time frame. She doesn't really care about the yes or the no. Yes, that matters, but she's going to get her way regardless. So just think about it. Whether you have a kid, a niece, a nephew, you have a coworker, anyone, they're constantly selling, constantly negotiating with you. So we are all salespeople. It's a mindset. Your mind is your most valuable asset, and you could always retrain your mind to increase the value. Now, we have a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. I don't want any volunteers for this. Just take a look at the chart and figure out which side are you on. Do you have a growth mindset or a fixed mindset? A fixed mindset, I don't want to judge, but you kind of stay within your box. You don't have the opportunity to grow. Would you believe that selling is 80% mental and 20% tactics and strategies? It's all right here. It's all right here. I sell with my mind and my heart. Now, just imagine this. If one of your Toastmaster friends called you and said, oh my God, you wouldn't believe what an experience I had. I visited this Toastmaster club. The speakers, oh my God, they should be on TED Talk. The table topics, it was so unique. The club was so warm and welcoming and inviting. The evaluations was worthy of taking notes to improve your speech. If you're on the other end of that phone call, what are you thinking to yourself? What are you thinking, Vicky?
I'm thinking, where was it?
Yes, I want more. Give me more. Where's this club? What time do they meet? You want more information. So selling and sharing is synonymous. Selling is very easy. Selling should feel like sharing. When you have a good experience, you share about it. I remember the first time that I went to a Toastmaster meeting, it was life-changing. I remember just texting a lot of my friends, especially my close friends, like, hey, have you ever been to a Toastmaster meeting? And guess what? I was shocked. No one ever sold me on going to a Toastmaster meeting, and most of my friends had visited and then failed to share. So make sure that you share, because that's part of growing. I got a question. Who knows why people buy? Why does anyone buy? What's the main,
Want what they're buying.
okay, let me ask you this. What was the most recent item you purchased?
This ring,
Good, and why? Why did you buy it?
I bought this ring because I had to take the other ring off because it didn't fit. And as you can see, I like to wear rings, so I needed something for this. And I was looking for blue one specifically.
Okay,
But the salesman showed it to me.
you bought it, and it's blue, correct?
It's blue.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Delisa, what was the most recent item you bought? I'm guessing because you were hungry? Oh, I'm sorry. I was asking to find out from everyone, what was the most recent item they purchased? And you bought a bag of raisins?
Bag of Raisinets.
Raisin nuts. And why?
I love candy.
Okay.
I bought candy.
Candy makes you happy. I'm the same way. Because of the benefits. Okay. William, I see you're looking for a past receipt. What was the most recent item you bought?
Thank you for catching me off guard. And no, I wasn't looking for a past receipt. I was looking for the pen to take notes. The things that last thing I most recently bought. Good Lord. I try to stay away from stores. That way I'm not tempted to buy anything. But the thing I most recently bought, a slice of pizza from Andy Pizza Shop, as I was hungry and I was going over to a youth project that Toastmaster sponsored for Stark Elementary School, which was delicious. And I was starving at the time, sir. That was the last thing that I bought.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, when you're hungry, it makes anything taste good. As you can see, we all buy for various reasons. The last thing that I bought was the winning tickets that I'm going to give out to one of you lucky people in here. Most people buy because of likability. I'm sure when you were picking out that ring, what's your name again, please? Norma. When you were picking out that ring, if you had a bad experience with the salesperson, would you have bought that ring?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I would have taken a picture, gone to another jewelry store and bought it from them.
Exactly. I'm with you. Most of the time, 99% of the reason why we buy is because we like the salesperson. Am I too far?
Oh, no, Dwight, don't worry. I wanted to get this.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay. Thank you. You have to like the salesperson you're buying from. You're not going to buy from someone you don't like. That's a fact. Like would lead to trust. You have to trust and like someone, or else no sale. Like and trust boost confidence. So there has to be a likability factor. The price is right. No one is going to pay for something overpriced. That's a known fact. The product or service fits their need. For William, he was hungry. You were hungry. You wanted a beautiful blue ring. You got your ring. And I wanted winning lotto tickets and I got them. So the product or service, it has to fit your need. And you have to see the value. I keep mentioning the lotto tickets. I'm not a gambler by a long shot, but I do believe if you don't play, you can't win. And I would like to believe that some of the money actually goes towards education. And I'm a big fan of education. So I see value within buying a little scratch off or a Powerball. And the last reason, you're better than the competition. You're not going to buy from, maybe you will if the price is right, but you need at least 4 out of 5 of one of the factors of either being likable, the price, the value, or the product, or just the competition is just amazing. And just as important as it is to know why we buy, it's important to know why people don't buy. What's the number one reason why people don't buy? Any guess?
Too expensive.
Too expensive, so money. Any guess? Any other guess?
Personality.
Personality. Okay, good one. They don't need it. They don't see the value. Exactly. Oh, you're cheating. You're seeing my other slide. Quality of product, absolutely. No money. Sketchy salespeople, yes. I run away. And that's why most people prefer to buy online these days. They don't have to go through the high pressure sales. But now you get spam when you search an item and they constantly, do you want this? Do you want this? And every time you log in, do you want this? That's the new age of selling. The number one reason why people don't buy is because of no money. But I disagree, because there's a large majority of people that actually have a lot of money to buy. It's a small fraction of people that actually don't have money. So keep that in mind. Sometimes people say, oh, I'm too busy, I don't have time. Okay, that's fine. I don't believe it. Why? Because if I'm trying to save you money, it would be in your best interest to make time. And if I could save you time so you can make more money, you would make the time to sit and meet with me. Lack of information, yes. No need. Sometimes we are aware of our needs, but guess what? There's a lot of other people that are so unaware of their needs. I find it day in and day out where people just don't know what their needs are. And it's up to us to help show them what their need is. For example, hey, you're so good at speaking. You should join Toastmaster. They think they don't need it, but it's a misconception. They all need it. Someone said it earlier, no urgency. Sometime in sales, you have to create that urgency. For me in real estate, when I get a call and someone says, yeah, Dwight, I want to buy. And I say, okay, great. What time frame are you thinking? And they're like, oh, I'm not sure. Maybe next year. I'm like, okay, maybe I'll call you back next year. They have no urgency and they're going to keep putting it off from this year to next year. And I've seen it over and over again. Lack of trust. That's number one. That's another reason. I don't want to say the number one reason, but it is a big reason why people don't buy. Now, this is the moment that you guys all been waiting on. You paid your tickets. You drove all the way here. Some of you even stayed overnight. How to close? Yes, John, you raised it.
I stayed overnight.
Okay. I hope you had a really good breakfast. How to close. Before we talk about how to close, Sue, is it possible for you to drop the ads in the chat, please? Because how to close is knowing your product. I could talk about maybe my t-shirts that I'm selling. I could talk about real estate, but I find it more fitting to talk about something that everyone could relate to. Ad sales. And I just don't happen to have my ad sheet with me. All right. Thank you so much, Deb. Oh. Thank you. You guys are so awesome. All right. So for those that are in Zoom land, the ad book is coming in there. So how to close. The big part of closing is actually knowing your product. Know your product. So what we will be discussing is the Toastmaster ads, the ad book, and the promotions. Let me see if it's there yet. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So part of knowing how to close, like I mentioned, is knowing your product. And to keep it simple, set a goal. As you guys are glancing over it, right? There's different price, there's different range. There's a $50 design for a quarter page, half a page. You could even buy a full page ad. So get the opportunity to learn it and set a goal. Set whether it be a financial goal of, I want to sell $3,000 worth of ads, or I would like to sell to 15 people. Whatever it is, just set a goal. And if you're one of those people that responded that own a business, you should be purchasing at least a half a page, just a suggestion. Assume the sale. This is a closing strategy that works a lot of times. Assume the sale is pretty much like this. You know you have a wonderful product, you know you're likable, you know the price is right, you have all the boxes checked. Assume the sale. Create that sense of urgency when you're discussing the sale. Let them know the deadline is March. Or if you know they're procrastinators, say, hey, it's best to get it in by February or by January if they're a bigger procrastinator. So you have to create that sense of urgency. Create that fear of missing out, that FOMO. Let them know like, hey, there's only 100 spots available. Last year, it was 70 spots that was sold. So this year, I'm pretty sure they'll be able to sell more than, or we, I should say, will be able to sell more than 70 spots. So create that sense of urgency to get them to want to buy. The next closing strategy that I would love to discuss is the check gauge approach. You know, when you're driving and like, oh my God, am I out of gas? You have to check your gauge. So in sale, you have to ask your customer like this, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to buy the product? And let them answer it. When you give them the scale approach, they'll give you two options. They'll tell you what their number is. So you'll know if you're making an impact on them based on what their number is. And number two, you'll get an opportunity to rebuttal whatever they say. So try the scale approach. Now let's discuss some mistakes. How many times you met someone and when you're walking away, you're like, man, I should have really asked them for the sale. I should have really tell them to come to my meeting. Not asking for the sale is the number 1 reason why most people don't get the sale. So make sure you're always asking for the sale. Whatever you do, do not go in for the hard close. The hard close is that pressure sales, that car salesman, that seller that's selling out of desperation. We're not selling out of desperation. We're selling because we want to help. Keep this in mind, ladies and gentlemen. No doesn't mean never. A lot of times we take a no personal. No just means not now. Just because someone tell you no doesn't mean they won't buy from you later or they won't buy from you next year. Use it as an opportunity to connect with them. ABCs of closing ABC used to mean always be closing, but we should change it to always be connecting. What I love the most about Toastmaster is the opportunity to network and grow with members. I've seen so many people and I've had the opportunity to work with so many Toastmaster members that I've met. So remember, always connect. Ask them if you could invite them to a Toastmaster meeting as a way to connecting. And last but not least, remember to follow up. It's okay to check in every now and then to say, hey, remember me? I don't want anything, but just remember me. I'm almost out of time here, and I do want to thank you very much for your patience. So I just want to talk about a few talking points. In the past year, over 100+ business has gotten their club notice in the conference book. Just think about that. Like I mentioned before, the last book had over 70 different ads. And guess what? Toastmasters love to do business with Toastmasters. The conference book is the main tool for point of contact. It's your way of getting around. It's your way of taking notes. It's a keepsake. It's worthy of having. And guess what? With the new ad book that you're doing, you'll be able to access it online. Earlier, I was able to go online and I looked at a few ads of people that advertised in the past. So thank you. I hope he's online right now. Thomas, there go your ad being displayed for no fee, more than the fee you paid before. Division H, is Division H in here? Yes. You see your ad? It's still being displayed years later after you paid for it. Who else is there? Nelton. Maybe he's not here, but guess what? His ad is there. North Jack's Toastmaster Club. Hey, he's in the room. Your ad is being displayed. Epi. I don't know where Epi is, but guess what? Someone is looking at her ad right now. Now, sad, I'm very sad. Reach a point of Q&A, that means I'm almost to the end. Do I have any questions? Any rebuttals? Anything that I missed? Anything I should go over? No? No? Wait, let me check on Zoom.
I
Ye-
have something, I have.
Yes, Deb.
When you're selling, if they say no, they'll become a Toastmasters Club for their business.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And just a quick note, Toastmaster is life-changing. I strongly believe that. I saw a quote. When I joined personally for myself. Why I stay to help others. And I believe that. And there's a lot of corporations that need Toastmasters. So when you're networking and talking, try to ask the corporate clubs to sponsor because their ad will be displayed and it will be online as well. And yes, Norma.
When I was first asked to come to a Toastmaster meeting, I was a year from retirement, and I told her, "No, I don't need Toastmasters. I needed it 20 years ago." But I showed up because she was a friend of mine. Who would have known? Today, I am the club extension chair. Or if you want to start a new club, come and see me.
Hey. Thank you. Anyone else? My call to action, if you own a business or if you know someone that owns a business, Christmas is right around the corner. It is better to give than to receive. That's what some people say. I believe that. It's better to give than receive. So if you have a friend, a family member, anyone that could benefit, take out a little small ad. It doesn't have to be big, but let them know that you're thinking about them. That is my call to action. Thank you again. My name is Dwight Dillon. I love to connect. I love to work with you. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to me and let's connect. Thank you very much.